Cops, the people who protect our cities, neighborhoods, and streets. They've come a long way from walking on foot, riding on the backs of horses, to taking to the skies with helicopters and drifting through the streets fighting crime. The police department is something I think us citizens can take for granted. We have people risking their lives every day for our protection and safety. But how was it back in the days when crime was on the rise and our policemen didn't have such technology that we do nowadays? How did they fight crime with the limited tools? And how far have we come with police technology? Welcome to my mini documentary on police technology.
What you gonna do? What you gonna do when they come for you? Bad boys, what you gonna do? What you gonna do when they come for you? Bad boys, what you gonna do? What you gonna do when they come for you? Bad boys, what you gonna do? What you gonna do when they come for you?
The political era. This era was full of corrupt and unstable policing. During this time, local politicians would hire and manage the police in their area. Policemen would typically shift their views towards their local politicians so they could stay in favor of them and keep their jobs. The nightstick and gun comprised a policeman's tool belt back then. A nightstick was about 1/4 inches in diameter and 18 to 26 inches long. They were made out of wood, mostly hickory or some other kind of hard wood. There was also another kind of stick they used, and it was called a day stick. The day stick was used during only the day and was significantly shorter, measuring only 11 inches. It also was made out of wood. Technological advances included the use in the late 1870s of the telegraph and telephone, including the installation of the telephone in police call boxes, letting police be able to connect to their station. Another development of technology in the 1880s was the Bertillon system of criminal identification. This system was created by a French anthropologist, Alphonse Bertillon, in 1879. It was a system that could describe a person by photographs and measurements of their specific physical characteristics. Eye color, scars, and any sort of deformities were especially taken note of, and all these details were written down on note cards, placed into files, including mugshots. This is a quote from Alphonse Bertillon himself. Quote, "Every measurement solely reveals the workings of the criminal. Careful observation and patience will reveal the truth." End quote. The professional era. The professional era rejected politics as the basis of police legitimacy. The civil service system was implemented, which ended political influences in the hiring and firing of officers. Police were no longer seen as working for the political leaders and were seen as law enforcement. The professional era introduced police training and policing academic institutions. A car was introduced to the force, and many police officers were taken off their footposts and put into cars equipped with a radio. The Detroit Police Department was the first city ever to use an on-the-air voice communication in 1928. It was a one-way radio. The police department could talk to the officer, but the officer had to reach headquarters via a telephone or call booth. The first two-way radio was used in Bayonne, New Jersey in 1933. This connected the police department to 9 of their patrol vehicles. The Bayonne system was revolutionary in that now those in the patrol car could communicate back with headquarters, as well as other patrol cars. The advancement was done through a combined transmitter and receiver in each patrol car. People began to wonder, if radios could be in cop cars, maybe they could be handheld. Pulling from the design of the mobile pack radios used during World War II, the first handheld radios were introduced in 1960. While they were a definite step forward in technology, they had their limitations. The average handheld radio was the size of a brick and weighed about 5 pounds. In 1958, the side-handled baton was invented by a former Marine. The baton was called the PR-24, and its design gave the baton the capability to be a protective tool rather than just an offensive striking weapon. The wide gap created by the side handle and the short arm of the baton could also be used to control a suspect's wrist, arm, or neck in a pinch. These side handle batons could vary from 18 to 26 inches depending on your height. These side handle batons were made out of wood, polycarbonate, epoxy, aluminum, or a combination of materials. In 1967, the FBI decided to make the National Crime Information Center, the NCIC, the first national law enforcement computing center ever. The NCIC is a computerized system that keeps information on wanted people, stolen vehicles, weapons, and other items that may be of value. The NCIC quickly established itself as a vital tool for law enforcement agencies across the country. A development happened in 1968 when AT&T announced that it would release a special number, 911. This number was to be used for emergency calls to the police, fire department, or any other emergency services. This era had a lot of technological advancements that have helped bring inventions and advancements to certain police tools that we have nowadays. The community era. In 1970, the community policing model took over as a system that our government uses for criminal justice. The system recognizes that in order to control crime, more must be done besides arresting offenders in closing cases. This model is still in effect today. During this era, computerization of law enforcement systems has been greatly advanced. Most of these advances can be traced back to two inventions, the transitor and the microprocessor. These inventions led to the building and establishing of computers. Computers have been the key factor in many different advances in police technology. The manner in which data is collected, stored, and studied was affected in a major way. This technology saves officers valuable time in having the records readily available, whether the officer is in the patrol car or the office. It allows officers responding to 911 calls to look up offender information on license plates, addresses, or driver's license from their cars, which are now equipped with computers. Fingerprint information was sped up even further with the invention of the fax machine. Information can be transmitted between agencies or from NCIC to the requesting agency in seconds. In the late 1980s, the advancement of DNA technology, which allows definitive identification of a suspect through bodily fluids left at a crime scene, this technology is particularly effective since it can identify suspects from cold cases, current cases, and even prove innocence of people wrongly convicted. This has been one of the most useful technologies to date. Nowadays, police technology has taken more and more steps and becoming closer and closer to making this world crime-free. There's new body armor, new DNA technology, faster and larger computers to process more and more data and collect more and more data and information on suspects. We've even adopted canines into the force, and they have proven to be very, very, very helpful and adorable police partners. We have come a long way with police technology. A lot has changed and advanced, but even with all these highly advanced tools, the world still runs rancid with criminals and lawbreakers. But I hope as we move forward in society that we can work towards a more crime-free world. I also want to thank all the cops out there who go and risk their lives for us every day. We are grateful for your dedication and contribution to society. That's all for now. Thank you for watching. This is Liz signing off. See you later. Bye.